What is up, music junkies? Thank you for tuning in today and happy new year. This is our first episode of the year, and we are very excited to have Lauren Light with us today.
I know I'm excited to be here, you guys. First thing of 2021.
So I
Thanks for
know
having me.
I know we already talked about this, but how was your New Year's? How did you spend it
I
during
mean,
COVID?
man, it was lit. Like I just
It was
sat
lit.
under a blanket and like sit channel surfed. It was great. Nothing like it. Now, usually I'm used to doing a ton more on New Year's and like going out or playing a show, but this year it was like literally Netflix and chill by myself. So yeah, it was
Hey, I
great.
mean, sometimes those days help you unwind.
Oh
Eh,
yeah,
I
definitely. I
mean,
agree.
granted, with COVID, I've pretty much had every night like that. But so I've unwind. I'm completely
I feel
unwind.
you.
So,
Love it. Same.
first question is, how did you get started in music?
Oh gosh, how did I get started in music? So I've always wanted to do music. So I guess starting out, I actually got like an internship right out of college. So I went to college for music business and songwriting. So I guess I don't know if that's the way to get into how I started, but I went through
One's
that.
definitely an advantage to have. So that's freaking awesome. So kudos.
Yeah, I loved it. I went to Berkeley and it was a great experience. But like before then, let's actually start there. I actually had a project in high school where I had to intern and do something I wanted to do for my career. So I'd always wanted to do music. I'd sang but I just sang in my room and like so I went to find someone locally that was doing music full time and I got to intern with them. And for the project, I had to start my own band. So I like made a whole entire album for high school and I loved it and actually then enrolled into college and then just kind of went from there. Got an internship after that working for like a music business company where I booked a lot of national acts for like country and beach, which I'm not like the hugest fan of, but
Okay.
and then it just kind of went on from there because yeah, so that was a very big sum up. I don't know if that answered your question at all.
When did you find the talent? Like when did you discover, "Oh, hey, I could sing. I'm pretty good at this."
I'll be honest, like I was writing songs when I was like 6 years old. Like I don't know, I just kind of came out of the womb like loving music. So I guess I would say the first thing would be piano. I started taking piano lessons at like 6 years old because it was a thing in my family. Everyone took piano. No one's musically inclined, but everyone had to take piano. Who knows? But I loved it and I would love to like sing along with it and I would start writing my own songs about the cat and just stupid songs, but it was just the fact that I would just write continuously. So I think that's probably where I got started and then I just started kind of researching and figuring out how I could do this live. I got into theater so I could perform live for people and like just wherever I could place myself. So after that,
Have
just
you done
started
any
playing live.
Cool.
musicals?
Yeah, I did a ton of musicals. Ironically, I haven't done theater in a long time. But yeah, it was like one of those things when you're growing up, you don't really know how to get into music being in the South where I am. There's not really much you can do. So I was like, well, how can I position myself into a place where I can perform somewhere? So theater was in that vein. And then I started realizing, not that I don't love theater music, but I loved pop music and I loved like rock music as well. And so I started, like I said, going into like different bands and found cover bands where I was like, do you need a singer? And it just eventually started, going into its own thing. So by time, like I said, graduating college, I was ready to kind of start my own thing. So yeah, that's a
Awesome.
Yeah,
better
so
answer than before.
Awesome.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So I like Mario, listen to basically everything as well. And your music is pretty awesome. And I like
Thanks.
how you were artistic with that Someone You Loved and Someone Like You song you released about 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Um that cover, oh my gosh. I was listening to it and it was really interesting the way you guys were able to match that. And I really liked how y'all
Harmonated.
harmonized together.
That's a new
I
Harmonated.
word.
love
Add it
it.
to the
No,
dictionary.
I love doing like mashups. So I don't know any way to like take two kind of songs and like mesh them together. I love that. And the guy that's in that video, William Neesmith, we co-write all the time. So we're all the time trying to level up music and confuse our brains singing mashups. So that makes me happy. I love mashups.
And I went back even farther and I
Oh
stumbled
no,
across this song called Light in the Dark.
that is old. Yeah, I
That
love.
is old, 7 years ago. But I
Yeah,
mean, I thought it was actually really great as well. I know we're kind of just going back, but so who were some of your inspirations for that time? For
that was actually like one of the first albums I did. That song actually is one of my favorites, even though I kind of took it down from Spotify and everything. But I liked it because at that time I was having a problem with trying to be an over perfectionist and going into the studio and like having something crafted and ready to go. And on that like album, I decided I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go into the studio and whatever comes out, I'm gonna write it and leave. So literally those songs were like written, recorded, and like I had to leave. Like I wasn't allowed to change anything. And that song and that day, I was kind of like going through a transition in life where I was like with someone for a long time and then we were ending things. So like the childhood, everyone
Yeah.
has their
Their high school,
hurt.
hot childhood sweetheart. And
Yeah, and I was with the dude for like 8 years. So it was
oh
like
my
from
God.
13 to like a long time over dude. So it was like that thing of finding myself again and like finding new friends, finding new whatevers. And I kind of came into the studio that day and it was just like all these feelings flooded out. And I love that song for that reason. Probably in that time, as far as influences wise, because I went off track. I loved like growing up like Alanis Morissette and that kind of thing, and like Queen and like a lot of female almost rock artists, which is really funny. I didn't really go into rock vein myself, but I loved like listening to like pop rock artists of that time and Kelly Clarkson. So like I think it all kind of flew through that veins of just writing really raw and honest lyrics during that time, probably.
No, that's great.
okay. No, like it's fantastic. And a lot of musicians, I think see it more as like showing the vulnerability, and I think that's good. And a lot of people can connect with that, and I think that is a good audience to tap into because there are people struggling with similar issues and whatnot. And so when they kind of find something that speaks to them, they're like, you know what, I like that. And there are a lot of songs that you've released that I'm just like, dang girl, all right,
Yeah,
that's
got me in my
mm,
feels, right?
I feel you.
It gets you.
I'm
It
over here.
gets
I'm
you
like, I'm staring at
feeling
my
it.
ear. I'm like, dang. I'm like, this is nostalgic, and I really I find it's how would you say you are an artist? Okay, that's the word for it. But as far as your inspirations, it kind of reminded me of a little Faith Hill, back in the day, and
Uh,
maybe my old man heard it too because I was researching, of course, and he said
mhm.
Trisha Yearwood, and I was
Oh
listening to some of
wow.
her songs too, and I hear it.
So that must be like on all the old stuff too. That I hate to say it, that's actually the reason why I took them all down from Spotify.
No, okay, and I don't
I,
mean to like brush up on that, but no, those were awesome. But like take me as I am was a
Yeah.
pretty fantastic one as well.
Thanks.
That one on that album
you're opening
as
up
well.
old wounds, Jake.
Undone.
She
I
got
know we're
rid of
going old
those.
school, but I'm like
Jake.
I'm
No.
looking at like the evolution, long term, and it's
Yeah.
like holy shnikes, man! You like came from here and you're here, and I'm like, dude, I don't know where I would be able to categorize your niche or put it into something, but it seems like you're really versatile. That's
Yeah.
my point.
I love that. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I always feel like it's evolving and that was one of those because I started getting in Spotify like similar artists, even though I like loved those songs, I just felt like that
Mhm.
was like a package where it was like that was the chapter and I like
You
got it all out in
closing
an album
closing the
and
chapter.
then
Yeah.
closed it. I do love that album though. Like I said, that's that whole entire album was the one where I went into the studio every day and Take Me As I Am was the title track. And like man, like if I get to perform that live, that's always like one of those heartstring ones. But yeah, I like to make people cry. It sounds like make
So
people feel. Yeah.
we're talking about your older stuff. Let's talk about your newer stuff. I want to
Yeah.
know where the inspiration came from for "You're
From
Not My Boyfriend."
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. This song actually came out of a whole conversation with a group of friends at the very first of like January. We were all talking about like these just inbox messages we kept getting from these dudes that were just like we didn't know them, we weren't friends, but like instead of just being like weird pickup lines, they were like just weird. And you would be like trying to be nice. And we had this whole conversation with a couple guys, and they're like, "What? We never get any things like that." And one of the guys that was in the conversation is a good friend of mine that's a producer. And he thought the thing was just so funny because we started sharing screenshots and all these things from I've gotten some weird things in my inbox. Let me just, like puppet things, like just, weird.
What the fuck?
And you like they speak to you sometimes, like some of these people, like you are in a relationship somehow, and I have never personally met them. So the whole song just span of the producer that was in the talk with me wrote me the next day and said, "This was such a weird combo. I had like this lyrical idea after you were like talking about it, and I said, they're just not my boyfriend. Like I don't know how many times I can tell them, like they're not it. They're weird." And so he wrote me and he was like, I have this hook. It's like, "I'm not my boyfriend." Like, and I was like, "What is this?" So we hopped on a call and I think wrote the song in like 30 minutes because it was just more this hilarious.
In the moment. That's freaking awesome.
And it was just supposed to be for fun. And he was trying out some new production, like, things that we could do. And I actually loved the song so much. I was like, I think this should be like the album title because the whole album has a whole theme to it too, which actually doesn't relate to that song at all, but it kind of encompassed it. So that's just that song that's just sassy and just satire and it's funny. And so
the music in that is so it's like so deep. The music just got me feeling like whoa, and then the lyrics are "You're not my boyfriend." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's such a combo. It's just like that weird feeling of trying to tell someone off that you've tried to be nice to, and it's like I don't really know how else to say it, so I'm gonna say it in this weird song.
Can you read out the weirdest message you've gotten?
I will tell you the weirdest message.
Right.
I actually had someone, we'll see if they see this. They started sending me claymation figures that they made that look like me. And it was like, "Good morning." And then one was like, "Good night." And like, so, that was probably the winner of the whole conversation.
Oh my God.
Cringe.
Yeah.
That's some voodoo shit.
It was weird. Yeah, I was so concerned. I was like, please say, like, if I'm mean about this, and be like, don't write me, that they'll like stab it.
And then you're gonna feel it in your chest.
I know. Now they're gonna know the song's about them.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. No, but that's probably the weirdest one I've ever got. Yeah, when you get your standard, weird ones.
Well, you get your standard like fuck boys, right? Like all the
time.
Yeah.
Obviously, I figured most people could probably relate to that part of the story. So
yeah. I mean, even if you're pretty big, you have a large following. Even with the females that have small followings, they always get those creeper guys.
For sure.
I've heard stories
DMs,
of
man. It's bad.
creepers requesting feet pics from
That was actually one of the
friends.
other girls. That was her thing. And she was talking about that. And she was like, "Well, how much?" And she's like, "I'm just kidding." So funny. But yeah, that's ironic that you said that. That was part of the story.
If they're paying. I mean.
So what about Band-Aid? What can you tell us about that one?
So Band-Aid is actually probably more what the new album's about. Actually, I'd written that song it was about a relationship I was in. And I already knew that the person was going. They were gone. They were there. And I was holding on to something that had already let go. And when you're in that position where you're just like, I wish if they were just done, they could just like rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Yeah,
like it would be so much easier on me because
yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wrote that song because it was like, I'm going to hang on. But if you're done, like, let's just like, you have to do it because this is too much for me.
Cut it.
Yeah. So that's that whole entire song. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And so that's the whole album that's coming out. Yeah, it's like the whole process of like that and to like being in a breakup, getting out of it, and then coming out stronger, and then just being more empowered by like being by yourself before you get with someone else. So yeah, Band-Aid, that's kind of what it's about, and it's probably one of my favorites on the new album. So yeah.
So you're writing this new album. So you said Band-Aid is mostly what the album is about. Can you tell us a little more?
Yeah, so that's why I picked "You're Not My Boyfriend" as the title of the album, because it literally is. It's about a breakup where it's like the before the breakup, it's about to happen. The feels that you get while you're in it. So like a lot of the songs are very, very raw as usual. So it kind of goes to that battle of losing someone, even if it's not like physically.
Mhm.
and then like coming out stronger. So yeah, that's the whole entire thing. And there's a lot more fun tracks in it as well, because after You're Not My Boyfriend, I love that. We have another one called I Got a Text from My Ex, which is hysterical. It's kind of in that same vein. But you know, when someone breaks up with you after months and months and they text you out of the blue. So like
Oh,
that song, and it's
just
like
want to
a
throw my
cool
phone
song.
against the wall. You
Yeah.
just
But then it has songs like
Man,
there's a
I
song
only got
called
mean things texted at me from
Oh
my
my
ex.
gosh.
yeah,
Same.
let me tell you, Jake's. Oh my God. Oh,
I feel like this album's for you.
I know. Jake is gonna relate to this album more than
Yeah,
anyone.
that's so I was like, dang girl, you're like get me all fucked up over here. I'm all trying. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're gonna like that song for real. It's funny. I was trying to think what some of the other ones are. Like Too Bad So Sad. Like there's a whole bunch of just they're just all very conversational. What you go through the motions. So there's like really fun songs that are satire, but then there's like some really like deep in my feels. Might as well just go cry.
Just
That's
go
the point
cry.
of music. You're
I
supposed to
mean,
make
yeah,
your listeners feel
it's
some
supposed to
shit, you know?
feel the
Like,
feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real
so
filler.
thank you for
So
not staying away from that, but god damn it.
God damn it, you're gonna make Jake cry
I
for
know.
sure.
Yeah.
I'll send you
Hold back the
pictures.
Yes,
anger.
I'll send you the ugly cry pictures he sends
that'd be
me
great.
I'll
That's what I
have
when
you
he's
need. I
know.
listening
need
to.
that.
So
That should be a
I
challenge.
want to go back to because you're not just a musician. You
Yeah,
founded a business, and can you tell us a little bit about it?
yeah,
206.
definitely. Yes, so I actually am a co-owner of a sync licensing agency, and it's based out in California. So there's four of us. I'm the only one on the East Coast. Everyone else lives in Los Angeles. But what we do is pretty much place music in TV, film, and advertisements. So it's really cool, and it takes me as an artist as well, and gets to incorporate that into kind of a different world. So as we were talking about earlier, I love doing genres. Just completely different ones. And a lot of times as an artist, you kind of have to stick to a brand. So with having the company, it's fun because besides us signing other artists, I get to do a whole bunch of different genres, and I have a whole bunch of different like pseudonyms. So like I have like a completely trailerized pseudonym, and I have like a sassy trap pseudonym, like just some off the wall. Yes, sassy trap is a thing now. I'm
Oh,
making it.
okay.
But for
I'm
ad
making
music.
it.
So you heard it here first. But
Set
yeah,
in stone
so
right
the
now.
company, we place a lot of music for TV, film, and do custom stuff for ads. So yeah,
So is
so
that how
that's
you
a little.
got on Runaways?
It is. So yeah, that's how that Marvel placement happened, and that one's really cool. So as you can tell from Run, the song, it's not a. I hope it's not about a personal experience because that would suck.
Yeah, that I
um,
cannot relate. Let me tell you, I cannot.
yeah, I
So,
had
Lauren, I don't mean to cut you off,
no, go
but
for it.
would you share with us what your writing process usually looks like when you're coming out with a new song?
Yeah, honestly, after the one tactic we were talking about earlier about writing whatever I feel and leaving, I like
Hmm.
that so much. That's kind of become my new mantra. So a lot of times I actually write over Skype just because a lot of people I write with people like in Boston, Italy, Los Angeles. I don't really write with a ton of people in North Carolina, which is funny. We get on a call. There's a couple top lines that we kind of have ready, song wise, and then we just pretty much like write a song within the hour. So I usually come to the table with some like ideas, or like I said, the conversation we had where something kind of happened, and that kind of sparks an idea or like a hook line. But usually I tend to like to write a song in an hour to 2 hours. I know
Oh
that's
my
really
god.
weird, but I just recently it's just my songs come out so much better if I don't overthink them.
It sounds
So
like an effective way to write
Yeah,
music and get it released,
I'm
though,
so
for sure.
envious
Like,
though,
holy
cause
cow, you
I
have multiple, like a team.
yeah, well, like before. So speaking on that past album, most times I would release 5 songs a year, or I could only like write 5 to 12. And like because I was just overthinking it, thinking about what metaphor could I use and whatever. And and then now it's just like I can just come out do I think since this quarantine I've done like 250 plus songs. So it's like it just so much
god
faster
damn.
and you can just
Oh
get a
my
whole
Let's
bunch of
god.
feelings.
let's dive a little deeper on that. So that is a pretty fast pace to release them. So how do you sit and find those melodies within your song that you're gonna follow and like your hook?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If you ever see me, I literally just like pull my phone up and I don't listen to a song before it's played. So a lot of times the producers bring like a full track that's kind of structured, and I'll just pull up my phone on the first listen, and go like, da 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 da, and I just like hum a melody. Usually, like the first to third time, whatever like was the initial melody minus some tweaks, usually is kind of where it goes. I
Okay.
feel like that's my strong suit is actually melodies over everything. So yeah, usually it's like just a whole bunch of mumbly melody ideas. That's how melodies usually come out.
All right. I mean,
Yeah.
it makes sense. You got a piano too, so it's probably helpful to have
Yeah.
that. But
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
but no, no, that's really interesting. I my family make fun of me if I tried on doing that into the phone.
Oh my gosh, you should see. So, like, my voice memos on my phone. If someone ever pulled up my phone and heard like, they'd be like, "What is wrong with her?"
With
But
no
they turn
music
it into
behind
something.
it. It's
No,
just
oh yeah, there's
over.
never music behind it. That's the
Oh my
better part.
God.
So they'll probably think it's like Morse code or something, or not Morse code, whatever they say from you. But yeah,
Oh,
it's
that
it's
is
a
awesome.
mess.
Yeah, that makes me very envious though, that you it literally takes you 1 hour to write, or
That's
like a
been years
split
that it.
second to like just come up with something. I've been writing music since when did we start a band, Jake? What, 2010? We
How
were
old
in
were
a
you? Like
band.
16, going on 17?
Yeah, I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it still takes me days and days and days to get a song the way I want it.
You've been working on music for about a decade or more, dude.
Yeah, and
That's crazy.
I can't sit down in an hour and finish it. I'm not in it. I can't.
Too many obligations.
Yeah, honestly, that's been within the last couple years. Like before that, that was not a thing. But I think just really like forcing yourself to do it, and you get a little better too, especially when you have to leave the table with a song that just is not is not the best.
Like when you set really thick deadlines. Okay, I cannot
Yeah,
miss this. I have to do it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun, and
I mean, and
a
it's
lot
your
of times.
livelihood too, right? I mean,
Oh yeah,
you're surviving on music, and if you don't, then you don't get it paid. I mean, you don't get any money.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my whole livelihood, especially now since touring is not a thing right this second. So yeah, I kind of just gotta pump them out. And the thing is too, especially if it's for clients, you can pump out a good like here's the idea, and if they don't like certain things, then I can go back and tweak it, which is nice. But it kind of just gives them the outline.
Yeah.
So
So talking about touring, what have you done? Where have you played? What are your favorite shows?
oh,
Tell me everything.
I want to
okay.
hear these deets.
Honestly, before this year, touring was my main livelihood. So I do a lot of college shows. So I'm in the college market, which means I get hired to play a lot of the different colleges around the US and Canada. So I did a lot of that. So, like, I've played almost all 50 states, I'm pretty sure. Not Hawaii or any of those. But so I used to be on tour pretty much 24/7 and played a lot of stuff like that with my duo. And then the full band, we do a lot of festivals and fairs stuff, which no full band shows this year. It's so sad. But yeah, so like I think before this year, it was like 800 plus shows. So
Oh my
like
God.
that was like my thing. And like every like 5 nights a week, I'd be playing locally. I'd be like touring and like that was like the hustle. So yeah, I've played a good amount of places, but like I said, my bread and butter was like the college market and like the festival market.
So I can
So
imagine how upset you are with COVID.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I've done a couple like virtual shows. So I've been fortunate enough to have some colleges like bring me on virtually, like playing their Instagram, which is like crazy to me. I'm like,
That
that's
is
fine.
fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was fun, but it's so much different than just like thriving on live entertainment
The
and being with a
experience
crowd.
itself.
Yeah,
The
my favorite's
adrenaline,
probably
yeah.
yeah, my favorite's full band shows. I don't get to play those as much because like when we're flying out places, it's a lot easier for me and my guitar player just to go. And I just pretend like I can't play piano because there's no way I'm hauling that onto an airplane. So I'm like, what piano? So yeah, so that's kind of touring wise. So I miss it. I haven't really got to play because, like I said, before COVID, it was nonstop. I think January through March, it was like show after show after show. And then like March hit, I was in Colorado and had to be like flew back in. And then I've just been like stuck in North Carolina for months. So
You
yeah,
haven't even making the trip
one
out to LA or anything?
no, it's so sad. That's why I was saying I was so jealous of you before the call because I haven't been out to LA and that's where my company is. So that's been sad. I did get one show in Florida randomly. So I flew out
Wow.
there for school. But like when you play now, you have to. I had like what was called like a COVID kit, so I had to wear like a mask for the whole show.
Oh my God.
Which, by the way, no,
Yeah.
well, you know what's worse is when you try to sing and it goes into your throat and you go.
Oh,
I did that so many times during the show that I almost got myself like in fits of giggles because I could not contain it. I was like, and they were so far from me, so there was no way. But yeah, it's
What
been an adventure.
What do you think about drive-in shows though?
Driving shows, oh, I actually really don't mind it. The worst one I ever did was like I think the furthest I go is 16 hours usually. If it has to be like especially full band stuff, but yeah, it's tiring. A lot of times I just pretend like I'm the worst driver, so my bandmates will want to drive. I'm the worst. I don't. I love like riding in a car. That's great.
Hit the curb. Oopsie.
Oops.
I
And then
can't
they're like,
drive.
yeah, I can't. Oh
I'm
man,
losing control of the vehicle. My bad.
I've done it. I don't even feel bad. Not that bad. But
Hey, if they watch this, they're gonna be like, "Oh hell no, she's
I
driving for the
know.
rest of the year in 2021."
Wouldn't that suck? Hopefully they don't watch this. Yeah, but I don't mind. I've recently, I have like a limit of like 6 or 8 hours now, just because I don't know if I assume you guys have traveled that far. It's like 16 hours is just a nightmare. When
I
it's
can,
like
my
two
knees,
people.
my
16
I'm
hours. I
getting
did
old. My
11 and a
knees can't
half, and I
handle
thought I was
that.
going to die.
Well, especially as a musician, you think you're saving budget. You're like, I'm gonna save so much money, but it's not really worth it. The more you do it, you're like, wow.
Gas and time and everything is just nah, nah.
Yeah, sometimes you can just, get a Frontier flight, force yourself into like this compartment and just, it's so much
Yeah.
cheaper. So, or rent an instrument. Sometimes you gotta make a change, but yeah, so 16 hours I think has been my longest drive. So,
Mhm.
New Hampshire.
Geography is my worst subject. You
Oh,
t-
so it's like, wow, it's close to Canada, like at the very top. So it's
Okay.
like all the way to the right, and it's like, yeah. If I'm describing this wrong, I'm pretty positive.
You're pretty positive. That does not sound positive
See,
at
and
all.
this is why they don't let me drive either, because if they let me, we'd be in a different state. I'd be like, I told you.
You'd be in Arizona and be like, "Hey, where this cactus coming
opposite.
from?"
Well, AC
Oh my
ain't
gosh.
that bad.
Cacti,
You
cactus.
just gotta look out for them dirt roads and the gravel. That's all.
Arizona. So I live in San Diego. I'm
Yeah.
from Imperial County, which is right next to Arizona. So if I were to drive from here to like Phoenix, it's literally the
Yeah.
most boring drive you could ever imagine. It's literally just dirt on the
It's not just dirt. There's
It's-
cacti. There's tumbleweeds. There's
I love the
tumbleweeds.
endorsement here.
No,
There's so much. to
Arizona
see.
sucks.
oh,
Oh, that's the most boring drive. So I would go to, we played a few shows in Phoenix, Tucson, and
Ooh.
I just hated driving out there. We would have a van in our trailer because we were a metal band, so we had to carry all our amps,
So
our
cool.
drums,
how
and
metal
stuff.
of that. Taking a 4-hour boring drive.
Oh my God.
Metal music's great though. Well,
I
Listen
mean,
to
it
that
was
for
great at
hours.
the time. Now it's not great anymore. I think metal, in that genre went downhill.
understand.
People
Yeah.
are going more into pop, rap, stuff like that. Which I don't blame them. I still listen to metal music, but I don't listen to it like I did back then. Back then it was just
Yeah.
nonstop metal, hardcore, all that. And now it's like I listen to more rap.
Nice.
I listen to more rap, and I actually make rap music now rather than metal music. So I see the transition. Yeah, but
I love it.
anyways, so about your podcast. So you have a podcast too, the Enlightened
Yeah.
Musician. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm a nerd. I love talking about music business stuff. And actually, the main reason I started it, I had a whole bunch of people that wanted to sit down and pick my brain or like talk coffee. And I'm one of those like empathetic people. If I could like help every single person out and help them like form their business plan structure, I would. It's not realistic. So I was like, what could I do that would actually possibly help musicians and kind of help them kind of get their foot or knowing where different things. and maybe getting them into like pick people's brains that are in the industry. So I started a podcast and brought a whole bunch of people on, and we talk like tips on like music business, and the different parts in the music world. So I bring different guests on. We took a little bit of a hiatus because I did a whole entire season 2 on booking and like COVID. So we wrapped it up. Season 2 is actually about to come back out, and it's going to be, what you can do during like stuff like this. So it's going to go into the sync world. It's going to go into all the different worlds like songwriting, vocal work, all the other worlds. So I'm excited. Yeah. So it's definitely a music business podcast. It's fun. And I like talking and meeting people. So it's like the best of both worlds.
That's awesome. So you definitely are a nerd. Let me tell you. That's very nerdy.
It really is. I'm like the organization freak too. Like yeah, it's okay. Hopefully someone benefits from it on the podcast.
Oh,
We'll
I'm
see.
I'm sure a lot of people would benefit, and we've had a lot of artists on here actually that ask us or talk about their main struggles or the business end of
Mm-hmm.
the the industry, because they're very good at writing the music, the production of it and everything, but releasing it or marketing or doing
Oh yeah.
all the stuff that you talk about in your podcast is pretty much their weakest point. So of course we have a lot of artists that we're going to refer to that podcast, and hopefully they
That's
could get something out
awesome.
of it, and I'm
Yeah.
sure they will. I'm sure they will.
That would be awesome. Yeah. That's the thing too. You're talking about a lot of artists have talent, like just overflowing with talent. But if no one can hear that, no one can see that, it doesn't really matter. So I'm with you. It's like getting that business side, the marketing side kind of up really can make some people's careers. And I don't know. I just really want to help people do that. So that's exciting. That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what you're working on this new album. When are we going to get the full album? Are you going to just tease us with little singles or what?
Come on, spill the
Yeah.
beans,
I
Lauren.
know. The plan, the next single is coming out mid-January. The full album's coming out like the very 1st of February. Not sure of the exact date because this is like the first time I'm actually working with a PR company. So I have to, it's the craziest thing. I'm so used to structuring and like everything organized. But they have to like release a single and see how the traction's going and like when the ebbs and flows. So I have to kind of wait for them. Weirdest thing ever. So I do know the next single is going to come out in January, and then 2 weeks following the full
Mhm.
album's coming out. It's like 10 plus songs. So yeah. And side note, the guy that you're talking about on the Somebody, we're going to do a mashup of one of the original songs. So that's going
Okay.
to be like on it. And I don't know, it's going to be fun. So early February. And I'm
That's gonna be
excited.
a good song, I can tell you already, because I already love the way you guys harmonize together. Your voices are just, it's a good match. So
Thanks.
good ear
Yeah.
on that one.
It's going to
Yeah.
be a
We're
great
going to be
album.
fun.
It's going to be a great album. Let's be real.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
excited. And he's going to rap on it too, which is one of my favorite things as well. So
Oh, he
I'm,
raps. I'm gonna go check him out after this too.
yeah.
Holy moly.
He's multi-genre too. His stuff is legit. You'll have to check it out. But yeah, so the song Band-Aid, we're gonna re-release it with a remix of him rapping the second verse and doing the
Mm.
call and response to it. So he's gonna do the guy response to the song. And
Mhm.
stellar. He sent me a thing the other day and was just like, "What do you think of this? If you want to use it,
Hell yeah.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
be good." Like, if I could write raps like that, whatever. Love it.
Have you been
So
doing any collabs with anyone else
Oh yeah.
outside of your album? Like,
Yeah, I've definitely right now I'm working on another trailer album that's going to be coming out with a company for some like this is random like purge type movies. So they're way
okay.
whatever. Another artist is Dakota and he's actually based out of Florida. I'm going to be doing like a pop soul R&B out not album but song with him. I have another guy that I'm working with, Joe Uzo. Like it's gonna be some stuff, a lot of pop, R&B, soul stuff randomly, and then some random trailer stuff that's just out left field, kind of run field. So yeah, I'm trying to
Awesome.
think. Yeah, there's gonna be some. There's gonna be, I'm sure, more collabs.
You don't even know. It's
Well, it's like
just
one
so
of those.
much.
I've written a lot of collabs this year, and I know they're gonna come out next year. I just don't know when. So we'll see. Because I know like one or two are waiting on a couple like TV placements.
well, all you gotta do is
So
just, light a little fire, put a little fire under their ass and be like, hey man, I gotta
you need to release a song now.
Release it now. Or you
I know
better
I should.
run. Or you better
You
run.
better run, or the next song's gonna be about you in this vein. I love it.
Well, that's all I have. Jake, do you have any questions?
Well, I was gonna ask her if she had anything, new coming out, but it sounds like she does have some stuff in the mix.
Yeah.
But do you have any messages you'd like to give to your fans or listeners or our listeners?
Let's see. I will go towards your listeners too, especially because a lot of them are musicians. Whatever this year is, take it for what it is and make it your year. Don't be discouraged that it's not turning out how you thought it would be. Don't be upset that the way it was is not how it is, and make this year something that you can take hold of and bring into 2021 and be a bigger person. Try a different like part of your music genre, like try live streaming, try something different and actually build your career in something that you've never stepped out of your box and done. So that's what I'm hoping for people, because this year has been an exceller year for me, because I was so used to touring, was so used to being on the road all the time, and that was taken away from me. And honestly, I've excelled in some other parts. And like I said, now I've written so many songs, have so many releases coming out. So I hope that other artists can see the benefit instead of the pessimism in all this time and come out with something really good after all this.
Well,
Awesome.
fantastic, Lauren. Thank you again so very much for joining us. You've been an extreme pleasure to have on the show.
Thanks for having
Um,
me, you guys. It was
yeah, of
fun.
Yeah,
course.
that was
You're
very
part of
fun.
the family now, so we
I love
definitely
it.
appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I'm
Yeah.
definitely gonna bump your music all the time. Get me
Yay.
in the mood to do anything because I could do anything. I could go sit down and cry. I could go and clean. I could go and work out. I could just do everything.
I love it. I
And I'll
love
send
it.
you
Put me on it.
pictures of Jake's crying faces when he listens to your new
Oh, if
album.
he
All right?
does, I'm posting it. I'm resharing it. That's happening. I
Oh
love
shit.
He's
that.
gonna like
Please.
Snapchat me or something with his crying face. She
They'll
was
be like,
right.
"His
She
song's
was
out
right.
again."
Please. I love it. No, this is great.
But again, thank you for coming on the show. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure, and you're amazing. Your music's amazing. So,
Thanks.
I
Well,
hope great things happen in 2021 for you, which I'm sure they
thanks. And
will.
you guys
You'll
as
make it
well.
happen.
We're going to try. We're going to try.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, music junkies. That was Lauren Light. She was such a pleasure to have on the show, and she is super duper talented. She's super versatile, like I said. I don't know how I would describe her, but she's definitely somebody that you would want to go and listen to. So,
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely gets you in the feels, and
a
there's many.
professional artist,
Yeah,
essentially, is the kind of what I would call her. She's a professional artist.
yeah. She does it for a living. She does it. I mean, she's just all around a well structured artist. When business, marketing, music,
Podcasting.
podcasting, she
Yeah.
does it. She does it all. So she's a good resource for any artist listening. And if you're not an artist, she's a great resource for getting you in your feels for sure. You know what I mean? Because Jake was already bawling his eyes out listening to some of our songs.
I was bawling my eyes out. There was just a couple of moments there where I was like, I can relate a little too much there.
you know, but
Some
anyways,
songs made for me.
we hope every one of you had a great New Year's. I know 2020 sucked for every fucking one. It sucked for me. It sucked for Jake. It sucked for every artist we've had on this show. And I mean, some actually benefited from getting the time off, but 2020 just sucked. We lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of peace. We just
It's just a dire time.
we just hope 2021 is a lot brighter, and I hope it's a lot brighter for every one of you. um like, again, if you guys ever need anything, we're here to talk, to listen. Send us your music recommendations. Who are you listening to? Anything you need. And if you're a veteran struggling with your thoughts, your mental illness, mental health, there is a podcast that you should listen to. It's called Veterview. One of my good friends, he's a veteran from the Marines. He created it for veterans, so listen to them, and Hopefully, it helps you through sometimes because they interview veterans and talk about their struggle with mental health, um, suicide thoughts, and their time in the service. So listen to them and stay tuned for what we have for 2021. We have great things coming to you, and we're just so excited. We're so excited.
Alrighty, guys. From both of us at Music Junkies, we love you and wish you the best. Stay safe out there.